I'm going to ruin your childhood, part 26. All the characters in Winnie the Pooh represent mental disorders. Christopher Robin represents schizophrenia. Winnie the Pooh represents an eating disorder. Eeyore represents depression. Tigger represents ADHD. Piglet represents anxiety. Rabbit represents OCD. Roo represents autism. Owl represents narcissism. I'm about to ruin your childhood, part 29. The show Danny Phantom is actually Timmy Turner's life as a teenager. After Timmy made his last wish to make him and his friends superheroes. Timmy grew up to be Danny Phantom. Chester grew up to be Dash. Trixie grew up to be Paulina. Tootie grew up to be Sam. And AJ grew up to be Tucker.
I'm going to ruin your childhood, part 83. In the show Good Luck Charlie, Teddy was never actually vlogging. And in the show iCarly, Freddy was never holding the camera. Next, I recently realized something about Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. His chin is also his crotch, which makes all the times he rubs it, which is a lot of times, very weird. Next, I always wondered how Mr. Krabs could have a whale daughter, but Pearl calls Mr. Krabs daddy and always asks for money, so that means Mr. Krabs is actually her sugar daddy. Next, Plankton built his computer wife Karen, so that means he programmed her personality. He made a wife who would make fun of him and mock him, so that means Plankton has a humiliation kink. I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 68. Belle and Beast actually got married and had a daughter. And the daughter's name was Jane. You know, Jane from Tarzan? Well, she left her parents to pursue animal research and met Tarzan. And Mrs. Pot and Chip were transformed magically back into their teapot form, which is why we see them right here in Tarzan. They went with Jane to watch over her during her research. Pretty cool.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 35. Anna, Elsa, and Rapunzel are actually cousins. If you don't believe me, watch this. In the movie Frozen, when they're opening up the gates, you can see Rapunzel and Eugene attending the coronation of Elsa. Also in Frozen, we see Anna and Elsa's parents die in this shipwreck. Where were they going, you may ask? They were going to go to Rapunzel's wedding. They even say in the movie they were going to a wedding. Now, why would they be invited, you may ask? They were invited because one of Anna and Elsa's parents were related to Rapunzel's parents. The king in Frozen and the queen in Tangled look very similar. They look like brother and sister. Also, one of each of their kids have superpowers. Rapunzel has powers through her hair. Elsa has powers through her hands of ice. When the king in Frozen figured out that Elsa had superpowers, he locked her away in the castle and had no one be able to come in. Why? Because his niece, Rapunzel, was stolen because of her powers. Pretty cool! I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 31. Tarzan is actually Anna and Elsa's little brother. Let me explain. In the first Frozen movie, you can see Anna and Elsa's parents boarding this ship, which later on we learn and see them perishing, quote unquote, in this shipwreck right here. But they didn't die right away. The ship does go down, but they don't die right away. Anna and Elsa's mom is actually pregnant when they went on the journey, and when all this was happening, she actually gave birth to a little boy named Tarzan. They both get on this raft here and land on a deserted island until something very bad happens. Both of them actually die because of a jaguar and leave behind Tarzan. Also, you can put them side by side, Anna and Elsa's parents and Tarzan's parents. They look the same. We all know the rest of the story. Tarzan's raised by these gorillas and becomes the boss he is. If you still don't believe me, it was proven by the director of Frozen. Pretty cool!
I'm about to ruin your childhood, part 33. Moana is actually not the real daughter of Chief Tui. She's actually Maui's long-lost daughter, which is why they both look so alike. And why Moana has powers like Maui, because she's also a demigod. I'm about to ruin your childhood, part 30. Timmy Turner's real parents actually died when he was young. The parents he has on the show are actually his foster parents, which is why they really don't care about him. Cosmo and Wanda are his real parents who died, who are now his guardian angels, which is why only he can see them, and why he looks so much like Cosmo.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 63. So in one episode of Phineas and Ferb, Dr. Doofenshmirtz actually goes on a date with Phineas and Ferb's mom. Here they are on their date. But what does this mean for Phineas and Ferb, you might think? Well, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is the biological father of Phineas and Candace. Check this out. Both Phineas and Dr. Doofenshmirtz have triangular heads, and they're both very smart and love inventing things. And Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Candace both have very long necks. Sorry bro, but your girl played you. Pretty cool.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered how big the Teletubbies are? Well, they're nearly 10 feet tall and tower over the average human being. The rabbits in the Teletubbies garden are actually a gigantic species of rabbit to make the Teletubbies look smaller on camera. And if you're wondering what the tubby custard is, it's actually mashed potatoes and paint, which will kill you if you eat it.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 76. In the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, there's one very dark joke that most people have never noticed before. In this scene, you can see the presidents on Mount Rushmore getting pied in the face. But did you notice what happens to Abraham Lincoln? The 3 other presidents get pied in the face, but Abraham Lincoln gets pied in the back of the head, just like how he was assassinated in real life.
I'm about to ruin your childhood, part 22. Peter Pan was a deranged psychopath who tricked and trapped little kids in Neverland. He killed them after they grew up, which is why they could never leave as adults. But Captain Hook actually escaped Neverland as an adult, which explains why Peter Pan attacked Hook and fed his arm to the crocodile. So that means this whole time, Peter Pan was actually the bad guy.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 20. Linda plus Lawrence equals Ferb, and Doofenshmirtz and Linda equals Phineas, and then that means...
I'm going to ruin your childhood, part 3. In 1986, Big Bird from Sesame Street almost joined NASA's Challenger mission. And if you don't know what that is, it's the space shuttle that blew up only 73 seconds after launch, killing every single person on board. They wanted Big Bird on this mission to encourage kids to get more interested in space. But thank God he did not join the mission, because if he actually did, millions of kids would have watched their favorite character die on live TV in a very gruesome way.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Timmy Turner and Danny Phantom look so alike? Well, it's because they're actually the same person. Right before Timmy's 13th birthday, he wished to be a ghost-fighting superhero. And the next day, he turned into Danny Phantom. Chester grew up to be Dash, AJ grew up to be Tucker, and Trixie grew up to be Paulina.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 64. The original Wizard of Oz is actually considered a cursed movie because of all the horrific things that happened during filming, so let's go through a few of them. First up, the main character who played Dorothy, Judy Garland, was actually drugged and molested during filming. She was given adrenaline shots so she can stay up for sometimes more than 48 hours in a row. And there was also reports that she was molested and sexually harassed by both the Munchkin actors and studio executives. The actress that played the Wicked Witch actually got horrifically burned on set. During the scene when the Wicked Witch escapes Munchkinland in a plume of smoke, the pyrotechnics team accidentally set off the explosion a little too early, which caused the actress's broom, hat, and makeup to catch on fire. Medics had to use alcohol to remove her toxic makeup, which was extremely painful because of her burns. And the fake snow they used in the movie was made with asbestos, which causes cancer. Pretty cool. I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 78. In the movie Shrek, Lord Farquaad did something you probably didn't notice that will make you really mad. So in the beginning of the movie, you see Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear in these cages. But later on in the movie, in this scene, you see Papa Bear and Baby Bear, but where's Mama Bear? It is later revealed that Lord Farquaad turned Mama Bear into a rug in his room.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 25. Penguins from Penguins of Madagascar. are actually reincarnated souls of soldiers who died in World War II, which is why they act like a group of army guys, because they were soldiers in their past lives. I'm About to Ruin Your Childhood, Part 23. Doc McStuffins is actually a little girl dying of cancer, and her medication makes her believe that toys can talk, which is why she imagines herself as a doctor who can save toys, because she knows the doctors can't save her. I'm About to Ruin Your Childhood, Part 32. Riley from Inside Out is actually confused about her gender. She is the only character with both male and female emotions. Her dad has only male emotions, and her mom has only female emotions, which is the real reason she ran away.
I'm Gonna Ruin Your Childhood, Part 13. Carl died in the beginning of the movie Up, and Russell is his guardian angel, trying to help him cross into heaven. Maybe that's why he had dreams of all of his memories with his wife. But what if Russell isn't just any guardian angel? What if he's Carl and Ellie's miscarried kid? Russell wasn't trying to earn a badge, he was trying to earn his wings. I'm Gonna Ruin Your Childhood, Part 15. Alright guys, in one scene of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, there's this scene right here where it shows all the presidents on Mount Rushmore getting pied in the face. But have you noticed what happens to Abraham Lincoln? If you look really closely, the other three presidents get pied in the face, but Abraham Lincoln gets pied in the back of the head, just like how he got assassinated in real life.
I'm Gonna Ruin Your Childhood, Part 1. The address of SpongeBob is 124 Conch Street, Bikini Bottom. And if you do a Google search, it will take you to this island called Little St. James. And this is the part that will blow your mind. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? This is the exact same location of his island. This is so messed up, I can't even wrap my head around it.
I'm Going to Ruin Your Childhood, Part 2. Did you know each character in Winnie the Pooh represents a different mental disorder? Winnie the Pooh has impulsive eating disorder, and that's why all he does is eat honey. Next, Piglet has severe anxiety. That's why he is always worrying, and why his ear is twitching. Next, Eeyore has severe depression. He always has a sad outlook at life, and he never shows any happiness or positive emotion. Finally, Tigger has ADHD. This is why he is always bouncing and can never stay in one place for a long period of time.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why we never see Max and Ruby's parents? Well, it's because they died in a tragic car accident and Max was permanently brain damaged from this, which explains why he can't speak in complete sentences and always blurts out one word at a time. Max only plays with emergency vehicles and cars because that's all he remembers from the crash. I'm sorry guys.